Good morning and welcome back. Today we are going to be experiencing life and learning together. I am going to be doing an honest Q&A about my experience as an American moving to Romania. I have a lot of interesting questions here. So first things first, we need coffee. So I'm going to take you to a new coffee shop to get coffee. Okay, the first question is, was our move spontaneous or planned? And our move was definitely spontaneous. My husband and I have been together since high school, and we had always talked about moving somewhere warmer, which is funny because Romania is not warmer. It's like pretty much the same as Kansas City, but we had always talked about moving. We definitely never talked about moving to Europe, that's for sure. But I'm so glad that we did. Another great question, do I work? So I currently don't have a 9-to-5. The company that I worked for back in the US actually wasn't able to sponsor me to come here, but since my husband's company was the one bringing us to Romania, we honestly didn't know what that looked like for me to try to get a job here. YouTube ended up becoming my job, so I pour all of my resources and all of my time learning and growing my channel and creating content to document this journey. So that has been honestly such a cool experience, and I'm very thankful for that because it fills my time and gives me something to look forward to. And I have absolutely loved, not to get sentimental and sappy, but I've absolutely loved getting to know all of you and building a relationship with you. It's so cool and honestly insane to look at my comments and just have so many thoughtful and kind comments on my content. So I just really appreciate this journey, and it's been really awesome. Okay, another great question is, do I feel safe in Romania? And this question is so interesting because I honestly feel more safe here than I did in the hometown that I grew up in the whole 25 years of my life. And I just find that so interesting how you can be in a country completely unknown to you and feel more safe than where you grew up your whole life. But I definitely feel safe here. I walk the town all the time by myself. Like today I'm exploring a new part that I've never been to before, and I'm by myself. I could walk in the middle of the night 45 minutes to an hour and a half all the way across town, and I would never question my safety. So it definitely is safe here, and honestly feels way more safe than the US. Anywhere that I've been in the US. Hey, got my coffee. That place was honestly the cutest cafe I've ever seen. There are a lot of the same types of food. I definitely think the food here is more authentic. And what I mean by that is I think America has definitely Americanized a lot of foods. I've noticed that there are a lot of food items here that taste different, either because they have less sugar, less ingredients, or there's things that aren't offered. So especially with like Chinese food, I have yet to see crab rangoon in Europe at all. So there definitely are places here that we still have in the US, like Taco Bell, McDonald's, KFC, Subway, but there are some like specialized fast food places like Dabo. Oh my gosh, I have absolutely fell in love with Dabo. That is my new like go-to if I just want something quick and I don't care what I'm eating. And I feel like this can go for the majority of Europe, not just Romania, is I feel like the food is more quality, and it's so crazy if you start like kind of researching and digging into like what the US allows in food products and what Europe allows in food products is crazy, because the US does not care. I think things are just a little bit better made here. Just love hearing the birds chirp. It's so peaceful, especially first thing in the morning. Okay, the next question is, what is my favorite thing about being here? I'm gonna split this into two parts. So My favorite thing about being in Europe is honestly just the chance to grow and change and evolve into a better person. Exploring and experiencing so many things that I just didn't have access to in the US. I don't want to say that I was sheltered, but I definitely feel like where I was at in my hometown had just outgrown that space and was ready for something different. I always felt like life was so much bigger and had so much more to offer than what I was experiencing. So honestly, just the chance and opportunity to explore and grow. And the second part to that is, what is my favorite thing about Romania? And honestly, there are so many amazing things about Romania. Honestly, to pick one is kind of hard. It is so beautiful here. And I know that we haven't really had the chance to go around and explore and experience different parts of Romania yet, which honestly, I cannot wait until we do that. I started watching, okay, a little bit of a ramble. I started watching The Flavors of Romania on Netflix, where it basically explores the countryside of Romania, and it just is so gorgeous. And I'm surprised that Romania isn't talked about more. Okay, to add a little pieces more to that, definitely the architecture. It is so amazing and so cool to live in a town where everywhere that you walk, there is always something really amazing and cool to see. And also the people here are so nice and so helpful. I think when I first came to Romania, so to finish my last question, there is a good mix of like really old, super cool buildings with lots of detail, and then also they're building so much new as well. So then you have like the ultra modern mixed in, which it just looks really cool. People are really kind here. And honestly, when I first moved to Romania, not just Romania, but Europe as a whole, is I didn't feel like people were very kind, because people don't smile at you out in public or at the grocery store. You're not really engaging in small talk that often. So to me, it felt so weird. That was definitely a huge culture shock. But honestly, the people are so genuine and so kind. And I feel like I could ask anybody, even random strangers, for a helping hand, and they would go above and beyond to help me. So we have been nothing but welcomed here in Romania. And okay, I'm not about to cry. I'm getting off my soapbox. Next question. Okay, we're back home to finish the sit-down portion of this Q&A. The next question that I got is, has the language barrier been harder to adjust to than originally thought? And I would say 100% yes. The town that I grew up in Kansas City, honestly didn't have that many different cultures and languages. Whenever you would go out around town or visit new coffee shops, you know, you're not really running into that many situations where you're experiencing different language. So moving to Romania and not knowing Romanian before I moved here was a huge challenge to overcome, which goes hand in hand with the next question that I was asked. So I'll answer two questions in one here. The next question was, what is the biggest challenge I've had to overcome? And I would say it has been the language barrier. There have been many situations here in Romania where I haven't been able to communicate with somebody else because they don't speak English and I don't speak Romanian fluently. That was definitely really shocking to me when I first got here, because before I moved here, I really never imagined that I would be in situations where I wouldn't be able to communicate at all. So thank God technology has come so far and we are able to use Google Translate. That has been a lifesaver in many situations. But I don't know, it's just so different to experience that. Whenever we first moved here, I definitely had a lot of anxiety going out into public, because personally, I am the foreigner here, and when I'm moving to someone else's land, I want to be respectful of that. I'm not expecting everybody to just adjust to me when I'm the one that's not from here. So I really wanted to be mindful of that coming here, really trying to understand and learn the language and integrate as much as possible. And so that did cause a little bit of anxiety for me because I felt a little bit embarrassed, or I guess guilty, for going out and not being able to understand everything and then having to ask people to speak English. People are just honestly so kind and they don't mind. And I do put in effort to try to learn and speak as much as I can with the knowledge that I have and what I'm learning. I think another thing to go along with that is just the culture is so different here, not only in Romania, but I would say mostly in all of Europe, where, you know, small talk and saying hi to strangers on the street and smiling at random people and waving at strangers isn't extremely common, where in the US that is really common. So when I moved here, it felt a little bit gloomy to me because going out into the grocery store, you know, you will have some people that will smile at you, but I would say it's on a rare occasion. And it's so funny because yesterday I was at the grocery store and I let this cute granny pass through the aisle. I moved out of the way for her and she just gave me this sweetest, most genuine smile. And honestly, I teared up. And like, I even tear up about it now. I don't know why. I just think it's so, she was just so genuine and so sweet, and her, you could just tell. It just radiated through her, and to have a smile from a stranger, I think just go a long way. So I definitely think that that's something I miss about the US. People are very kind and very genuine and helpful here, which definitely goes a long way. The next question is, have I made any new friends here? And until 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had not made any new friends here. Honestly, I was just going through so much and so much transition, so many new challenges to overcome. Oh my gosh, there was so much to adjust to that I honestly just didn't have the energy to put into that. I was so uncomfortable to go out in person and meet new people. Now I am just in a better headspace and looking for those connections and looking for new people to meet. So I actually downloaded an app where you can meet people that are local, and basically it's like a BFF app, and that has been so awesome. I honestly didn't know what to expect, and it's so weird like making friends as an adult. I actually met a new friend for the first time last weekend for coffee, and I have 2 new meetings this weekend, which I am so excited for. I feel like we've made a really good connection online, so being able to meet in person will be really cool. Next question is, why did we move to Romania? So we moved here because of my husband's job. We honestly had very little knowledge before moving here, but we found it to be such an intriguing experience. And honestly, once we talked about the possibility of moving here more, being able to be so much closer to all of the European countries to travel and explore this side of the world was such a crazy opportunity that we just knew we had to take advantage of this before we were ready to settle down and start a family. So really why we chose Romania is because my husband's job has an office here and they had a position open which allowed us to move here. This is such a great question. What has been my favorite thing about moving so far? Honestly, I think just getting to see and experience so many different countries and so many different cultures. We have visited 12 different countries, which is so crazy to say. We unexpectedly had to leave Romania, which then we thought, let's just take full advantage of this moment and just see and explore as much as we could. So getting to experience and see so many different places has honestly been amazing. I'm gonna throw this little Easter egg in here. I am actually going back to Scotland and going back to Paris in May, so definitely stay tuned. I cannot wait to do a travel vlog for you guys again and show you some of that experience. Ooh, another great question. What do I miss the most about the US? So I would have to say the thing I miss the most is just having access to pretty much any brand or product that you could want, or that you see advertised, or that you hear people talking about. That's been one thing that I was definitely not aware of upon moving here. There were so many brands, like I would go into Sephora and try to buy a lip gloss that I've been using for years, or buy a face wash or a foundation, or go into the store and buying shampoo and conditioner that I had been using for years and years that they don't sell here. I think just having access to pretty much anything that you could want. To go along with that is the types of medications that are offered here. So especially in the US, over the counter, there are so many different kinds and brands that you're used to buying. You know what you like and what you've been used to your whole life. Even some of the like digestive health medicines, if you know, you know. I have had to have our Romanian friend bring back from the US so that I could have access to some of those medicines that I needed. Okay, I have 2 questions left. The next one is, how long do we plan on being in Romania? So before moving here, we honestly didn't know how long we were gonna spend. We wanted to at least commit to a year. There were so many people that told us we needed to spend more than a year here, which I completely agree. I don't think that you can fully integrate and learn and become a part of a culture only being here for a year. But not having been outside of our hometown ever in our lives, we wanted to just commit to 1 year and see how we felt after that, and kind of just leaving it open to if we wanted to stay longer, if we could, or we could just decide to go back after the year. At this point, I think we will end up moving back to the US because we do plan on starting a family soon, and we just want to be closer to family in order for that journey. But honestly, it's such a hard decision because there are so many things that I love about Romania. Honestly, it is such a hard decision, and one that we go back and forth on all the time. So when we go back to the US, will we move back to Kansas City or will we move somewhere else? I think we are leaning towards moving to a new state and trying a new state. It's so interesting now that we've been to Europe, experiencing and traveling to so many different countries. I can't even imagine just living in one place my whole life. I just feel like there's so much to experience and so many different places to see. One of the main driving factors though for me not wanting to be in Kansas City long term is definitely the winters are terrible. They are so stinking cold, and I just don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm just not about that life. I am a warm gal and I want to be in the sun. We are sort of leaning towards like Utah or Texas, so I think at first we will move back to Kansas City just to get our feet back on the ground. And I think being somewhere familiar will be nice. We'll know where the stores are and stuff like that. But long term, I think we want to ultimately be somewhere different. Thank you so much for experiencing life and learning with me today. These questions were more catered towards like family and friends that I have been speaking to. I would love to know what questions you have for me, so definitely leave those down below in the comments and I can do a part 2 answering all of your questions. I sincerely appreciate you being here and being a part of this with me, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!